All right, so I'll just show you how you work this machine. So here is the little knob. It's really simple to use. It's not a touch screen, but here there's the go button. I can set the time. So if I push this in, there's going to start. I can just pause it like that. I can turn it this way to set the time. Right now it's set for an hour. Here I can set it for 2 hours, so the percent of hydrogen gas. Right now it's set at 2% hydrogen gas. Pretty simple for me to change. I just pushed it in. Now it's set H2%. There's 2%. Look, 1.9, 2.1. So it goes by 0.1 variations. We can turn this up. Turn it up. Let's go up to 4%. Oh man, look at that. That's 4%. There we go. We can give Alex a real good kick here. And now we set that. Now we're gonna push the on button. All right. And well, first I want to open this up so I can show you this bag. This is the bag. It's going to inflate with air, and when I push that on button, you're going to see gas bubbles will come inside of this. This is not hydrogen gas, it's oxygen gas. So it makes hydrogen gas and oxygen gas. Oxygen gas is we're just venting it into the room, and this way you know your machine is working. So all right, go ahead and push on. All right, the bubbles are coming, and now I'm going to open this up. You can see the bag's inflating. Okay, now what happens is we make the hydrogen gas from electrolysis, right? Electrolysis is simply the decomposition of water into hydrogen gas and oxygen gas. And we make the hydrogen gas, and it's going to mix with the outside air. This is the room air. It goes through a HEPA filter, so we actually purify the room air. So what you're actually going to be inhaling is more pure than the air already in here. So it purifies the air. It mixes with the exact percent or the exact ratio or volume of hydrogen gas. So we can get a precise percent volume per volume of hydrogen gas that gets into here. So we set this at 4%, right? So that means inside this bag contains precisely 4% hydrogen gas. Now I'm going to have Alice go ahead and you want something to say first?
Yeah, so I wanted to say first, now why 12 liters? Why are we pulling in 12 liters? Now, in the literature, it is widely cited that we inspire 6 to 8 liters a minute at rest, but that's true rest.
Yeah.
So at first we had set in our beta units to 10 liters a minute, but then some of our beta users were bodybuilders. And then even with myself, I have big lung capacity, we were able to bottom out at the 10 liters with the 2 liter bag. And that is why we upped it to 12 liters with a 3 liter reservoir bag. So first, what you want to do is you want to wait at least 5 seconds, up to 10 seconds for this bag to inflate. Now you can see the bag.
So I'll explain what's happening now. So just go ahead and just inhale normally.
Are they putting the camera down?
Yeah. So so he's going to go ahead and inhale. So you see how it just takes the air. So when he takes the inhalation, it deflates the bag. Then he's going to exhale. When he exhales, all the gas comes out of the top of the mask. This is a special one-way mask. It's a non-rebreather mask. It's a one-way valve. So he takes the inhalation, and then the air comes to the top of the mask. Nothing comes back into the bag. This bag is sanitized. There's nothing that gets back into there. It's filtered air. Everything comes back out from the mask, right?
So, and this was one of the things that took us a while to develop because we had to design this mask. This mask did not exist.
Yeah, it's a very special mask. I know it sounds so simple. There's lots of masks like that. Turns out that there's not so much. Okay, if you could just breathe just normally, just like you do in an inhalation session, I'll just talk about a few components quickly. I just want you to just pay attention a little bit, just as he's breathing normally. And think about if you had like a nasal cannula, when you take that inspiration, every time you see that bag deflate, a nasal cannula, that's only going to give you the hydrogen gas during that time, but you have no idea what is the FiH2, the fraction of inspired hydrogen. It's going to vary tremendously. In this case, every molecule that you inhale comes precisely from this bag. And it doesn't matter what your ventilation pattern is, if you're a big person or a small person, because everything comes from this bag. This is a 3 liter bag, actually. It'll hold up to 3 liters. A normal, what we call tidal volume, is around 500 milliliters per minute when you are really kind of at rest. That just means as I'm sitting here, I take a normal breath, it's around 500 milliliter volume. But a larger individual or somebody who's like, kind of working or whatever, they may take closer to a liter of hydrogen gas. And that's why we have a larger bag right here, because that liter that Alex could be taking in, he could inhale that liter in an entire second. That means you have to have a flow rate of 1 liter per second. 1 liter per second is 60 liters per minute. That means you'd have to have a flow rate of like a nasal cannula of over 60 liters per minute in order to keep up with the flow from somebody's lungs. So in oxygen therapy, when you map this out, that's why when they deliver oxygen with a high flow nasal cannula, do you know what those flow rates are? It's like up to 60 liters or even more per minute, 60 liters per minute or more of oxygen in order to ensure you're matching what we call the mean inspiratory flow, or the peak inspiratory flow, actually. So this is how this machine is really ensuring that everything you get is going to be within that therapeutic range of exactly 1%, 2, 3, or 4% hydrogen gas. So the reason why he said 12 liters per minute is because, again, in the textbooks, we often cite 5 to 8 liters per minute as your resting minute ventilation. But when you are just like, let's say you're on a computer working, or you are walking around, then you're going to sit down, you still have some sympathetic arousal. So your minute ventilation is closer to 10 to 12 liters per minute. For like Alex, I'm sure it's closer to 12 liters per minute. And this is why it's able to ensure that even for people at the higher end are always getting enough hydrogen gas or airflow with that. Now, this is another cool thing, is because the air that's coming out of this mask is exactly the precise concentration, say 4%, it's not flammable. So what we're going to have also is the ability to put like goggles on, which people have seen before. So you can like put this like on your eye, let's say like this, and get hydrogen gas directly onto the eye or onto the face, or other areas. And this is a really cool idea. And there's people who are already doing this, but I'm very concerned with other methods, because if this were pure hydrogen gas and I put this like this, then either one or two things happening. Either my eye is going to only have hydrogen gas, which means there's no oxygen, and actually your eyes reuse the oxygen in the air. They don't get all the oxygen from the capillaries from your blood. They actually, oxygen gas from the air actually dissolves into the eye, and your mitochondria actually use that oxygen as part of the oxygen flow. So if you put this on your eye, then what's going to happen is you're going to get hypoxia in your eyes, and that's a problem.
If it's pure hydrogen.
Yeah, if it's pure hydrogen. And this is a well known with people who have contact lenses, for example, is that if you have them overnight, they sleep with them, it can cause damage to the eyes because of hypoxia, right? So that's one concern. Or it's pure hydrogen, and the hydrogen is such a small flow rate, and now it's being diluted by the outside air. So you put this on, and now the concentration is maybe 20% or 30, 40%, whatever it is. It's between the 4% and 75% flammability level. Now it is flammable. It's very dangerous. Or people will use the oxyhydrogen, right, where you have oxygen gas and hydrogen gas combined together, and they put that on the eye. And now, yeah, your eye, it doesn't have problem with hypoxia. What other problems there are? There are actually two of them. One of them is potential hyperoxia. Our eyes are used to 21% oxygen, and now you just put 33% oxygen, and that actually can increase oxidative distress in the eye and exacerbate the very problems you're trying to stop. That's one potential problem. The other one, you guessed it, flammability. Not only flammability, but detonatability. It is actually detonatable, that pure mixture of hydrogen, oxygen gas. And again, the amount of energy required to ignite hydrogen gas, especially hydrogen oxygen gas combination, is less than the amount of energy required for static discharge. So I could have this on my eye or something with the goggles, and I move whatever it is, and just some energy builds up and ignites, and there's a major issue on my eyes, little bomb on your eye. So I do think it's a really cool idea, but if you do that, you don't want to do that with any other machine because of the potential risk of flammability. Now, people have done it all the time, and they'd be like, look, there's no problem. I've done it for like a whole year, and I've never blown my eyes out, so it's fine. Okay, but you should have the full informed consent to know that that is a real potential risk. And that's why I think something like this is really great, because if you do want to try this, which we need more research on, but I think it's a pretty cool idea, you can do it without having the risk of flammability. And again, maybe that 2 to 4% is actually an optimal concentration as well.